Okay, so anyone that knows me knows that I'm like huge on people being their own advocate, voicing their opinions and what they believe in. And I don't like ever really put anyone down for what they believe. But the New York late term abortion law is what I want to talk about today. This is going to be a long video, so I am so sorry. So for the people that actually know me, you know that I gave birth to a little boy named Gabriel in August of 2017, and he did pass away at birth. But the thing is that the doctors, the specialists, everyone that I had seen and got surgery from knew that he was going to pass away, and they told me that he was going to pass away. My baby Gabriel had a bladder outlet obstruction. Basically, there was a blockage in his urethra, and it backed fluid into his bladder, which then backed into his kidneys and caused kidney failure. Now, after about 12 weeks, the mother stops producing amniotic fluid in the sac, and basically the urine, the pee that is coming out of the baby is what the amniotic fluid is and what helps them develop their lungs. So I got a surgery called an amnioport laparotomy to put a catheter in my uterine wall with a tube running up to my rib cage, and we were putting saline fluid into the sac for Gabriel. It didn't work. They told me that it might not work. It was really unfortunate. It was a really bad experience. Just the surgeries and, everything that I had gone through just to, in the end, be told that I had failed. So at the time, Ohio had the heartbeat bill where you could not get abortions after 22 weeks of gestation. And I was after 22 weeks when I found out that the surgery did not work. I didn't know what to do. I didn't have any options to even choose what to do. I was stuck. They told me to just go back home and see an OB regularly. It was hard. I have a now 2-year-old who was a 1-year-old at the time. I couldn't really do much because of healing from the surgery, and my son was still inside of me. So Gabe didn't have space to move. I believe I was told that a healthy, normal baby moves like 10 times in an hour or two. Gabe moved once about every 4 hours, and I felt it throughout my entire body when he did. He had no space. He wasn't developing the way he was supposed to. He couldn't develop his lungs. He was in pain. His kidneys were failed. He had cysts all over them. He was suffering for sure. He was definitely suffering, and I was suffering as well. I don't have words to explain the pain of waking up every day for the entire last trimester of my pregnancy, knowing that multiple doctors had told me my son was going to pass at birth, knowing that they told me he was not comfortable, and it was so obvious. But this really isn't even about my sad sob story about me losing my child. I really want to inform people, everyone, anyone who will listen. I want to inform someone. So, New York and this new late-term abortion law legalizes the use of abortion for women who have a medical reason to get an abortion. I think a lot of people are missing that point. They just hear abortion and the riots start, you know. To them, even being induced early to get the pain over with of losing my son in Ohio was abortion. You know, it was illegal. I could not do it. I don't even know how to explain to everyone how amazing this law is for parents who are going to lose a child because of a medical reason. So basically, I said earlier, like, I support people's opinions and I want you to be a self-advocate for what you believe in. In this case, I don't. In this case, if you don't agree with me, you're wrong. I don't care, honestly. I went through hell. My son deserved better. My son deserved to not suffer, and he did not get that opportunity because everyone just assumes abortion is such a horrible, cruel thing. But in the end, it wouldn't have been for my son. Being born and forced into a life that he could not have, a life of a whole minute of suffering, was cruel. But really, you know, I think it just comes down to there's not a soul on this earth that can change my mind about New York's late-term abortion law being a good thing. I wish my son and I had that opportunity, and I'm praying for every family out there who has to go through what we have gone through. So if you've made it this far, you know, I want to say thank you for listening. In the end, you know, I know not everyone understands what I mean when I explain what happened to my son, but that's not the point. The point is that with New York making this law, it kind of feels like, you know, though it might be too late for me, I still have a voice. And I am just so grateful and thankful that New York decided to do this. You know, for the parents out there who have to go through what me and Gabriel went through in New York, I feel for you, and just thank you to New York for deciding to make it legal for medical reason to get a late-term abortion and put children out of suffering.